is the simplified model of research without hypothesis from Keith Punch, okay, in his book Developing Effective Research Proposals, okay. So what I appreciate so much about this diagram is that it's so comprehensive, no? It it the elements of research are all there in that one diagram, okay. Now our work, here in research methods AR416 is going to span from here to research design, okay, up to there. Yan. Okay, so uh, from review of literature to research area, context. Now, actually, this review of literature, this whole thing, this, okay, is the introduction. Okay, that's the introduction, and this one is the methodology. Okay, so these are the two elements of the interim research that we are going to develop this this semester, and will become the basis whether you will get promoted. Promoted meaning this is the basis whether you are going to get a credit, no, passing grade. Because what will happen in design 9 will be this one, no? The gathering of the data, analysis, and conclusion. So, and and then the entire, no, I will say the design 9 includes everything in this diagram. Okay, but for now, for AR416, we just have to stop at the research design. So, see, Keith Punch mentions that the research problem, which he calls the topic, is what I call the research problem. Okay, the research problem is born out of review of literature. No, we can only say that it's a problem because we have some basis, and that basis is the literature. No, so research area is something that has to do with the subject matter of your research. No, whether it's in the subject matter of construction or safety, security? Is it in the subject matter of tropical design? Subject matter of your architecture, no? So, okay. Uh, and then the context. So, by the way, do not please do not understand that the area has something to do with the location. No, it is not. Uh, it is not related with the square meters or hectares of your site. No, it's not. It's the subject area. Okay. And lastly, the context. No, so when you observe, when you see if you observe a kind of a problem, it is happening on a particular context or location. No, we have a kind of a activity later on. No, and I will somehow guide you through, no, this this problem identification, and you will tell me the possible research questions for that kind of problem. No, so the context is, for example, a a community. No, uh, wag lang yung bahay mo. No, yung bahay ng barangay. No, something like that. There is a prevalent condition or problem that this barangay, this sort of a community is facing. It could be uh, something related uh, with fire hazards, so on and so forth. No, or it could be uh, a situation uh, that is being um, faced by hotel operators, by hotels, by resorts, by commercial centers, etc. No? So so when you talk of, for example, acoustic problems, no, something that has to do with noise, etc., and how well the lecture is being understood, no, the signal, no, it's very important to know the context of where this is happening, no. Is it in the elementary school or is it in the college level? Is it in a top university compared to uh, not a top university, you know, or is it in a university that has entrance exam compared to a university that does not have? So you can, it's very important, and it makes a lot of difference between uh, because of the context, no, because of the situation, no. For example, when you're talking of speech intelligibility, no, how well a teacher speaks is very much the effect, no, of poor intelligibility is much more serious with younger students in their formative years compared to graduate school level, no. Okay. Now, once you use literature, research methods, research area, context, then you are able to somehow appreciate, no, the existence of a problem, and out of the problem comes out the something that you have to do in order to um, address the problem is to come up with a research question. So these are some examples that I have in regards to architectural research problems. Okay, so for example, there is an inefficiency in the use of space. No? Okay, maybe an office whereby the relationship of one office to another seems to be uh, out of place. So therefore, the coordination, communication between these offices are very inefficient to the point that the 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 job that they are supposed to do is compromised. No, okay. Let me just check again our if there are some people waiting at the lobby because I hear some sounds. No, wait. Uh, any questions, by the way? Any concerns? Any concerns? Any clarifications at this time?
Opo, Dean.
Sige, please.
Nag-gaps pa po kami ng mga ideya po.
Yeah, Rosel, yes, you are grasping. What's it?
Nag-gather pa ng mga ideya sa mga in-explain mo po, Dean. Parang maintindihan pa po. I'm
Okay.
trying to understand pa po.
Yeah. Thank you for your feedback. Wait lang ha. I have a question. I have a call. Wait lang. especially Gaisano Mall, no? You will you will find every space there that they can rent out. No, it will be rented out. Before the corridor, no, is empty. Now the corridor is filled with a lot of stalls. No, before you see the spaces under the stairs as just empty. Now there's a there's a boutique or there's a coffee shop underneath the space. No, uh, so yeah, okay. Maybe what you can see there is the nice, no, the nice use of space. Okay, or the next one will be something that has to do with uh, the physiological discomfort or dissatisfaction. Okay, Fif- things that we feel. No, uh, do we exert a lot of effort to travel from here to there? No, for example, in a hospital. Is there a way of making uh, things more near each other? No, or for example, another one would be discomfort in regard to heat. No, we should understand that we are in a tropical country, tropical region, and because of this, we are constantly exposed to a lot of sunlight. No? A lot of sunlight, meaning very hot, no? Uh, well, and then we, being in a tropical region, we have typhoons, we have copious, a huge amount of rainfall, no? This can be become a source of a problem, no? Okay. Then it could be something related with wastage of resources, no? Is there anything that you can do to save on energy, on power, or on materials, no? On capital, no? You know that building requires money to put. Okay, do not think for a moment that a building is doesn't have any issue with the budget. No, even with the most expensive building, I guess the budget will always be an issue. No, of course they have much bigger budget, but it's not something unlimited. No, we you can also look into non-compliance or violations of relevant building laws. No? Because building laws are meant to protect life, health, and life, health, and welfare of the people. Okay, is it something that is related with threat to persons, as insecurity, no? Loss of property, damage to property. No? So uh, now I'm saying that for example, security, we can employ security guards. No, so that's not the angle we are looking at. No, because uh, getting the services of a security guard or uh, putting up CCTV, etc., can address security problems, but uh, but look at architectural design. No, for example, corridors should not have a place where bad people can hide. No, or something that you can use so that the would be criminals would not have enough. No, like something that you will design so that it will discourage uh, the commission of a crime. No, okay, something like that. No, any questions so far? Okay, uh, so here are some basic requirements, no, so that you and I can become sensitive to a problem, no. So, try to observe things, no. Try to be critical about things, okay, about look at the behavior of people, no? Um, we are, no, here in the university, we are looking at we are anticipating the opening of classes, no, where students come in campus, no, but we have to be number one. We have to abide by the regulations set by the Commission on Higher Education and the health protocols, no. So it's not going to be the same as previous, no, and it's going to be gradual, etc. No, so there are many things, no, we have to consider in the arrangement of furniture, etc. In the classrooms, many things. No, some of them are not architectural, okay, but some of them can be architectural, like, no, some of them are like consent of the parents. So these are not architectural. Okay, washing of the hands. These are not architectural. Okay, we just make sure that there is water for you to wash your hands, and then you bring your own disinfectant, whatever. These are not architectural. But for example, the ventilation. So we will probably not be using air conditioning. So opening of the windows, etc. No? So there are many questions that we can ask. Some maybe you have heard some people saying na uh, that body ano yan, what that face shield is something useless, etc. No? We yeah, we have heard of some anecdotes and presentations, etc., that it doesn't really protect you. Even the cloth mask will not even protect you. So some of them are architectural, some are not. So in order to be a bit more sensitive to problem is you have to read relevant literature, no, so that you have a certain criteria, so that you develop certain sensitivity to whether you call this a problem or not. Okay, so you read books, reports, etc. No, I think that, and then look for a problem that you find interesting. No, this is very practical reason, no? Kasi kung hindi ka interesado doon, di mapipilitan ka, no? You will just be dragged into it. But I'm sure, no, you are, for example, you are following certain Instagram accounts of some architects. You are following certain hashtags in the design, etc. No, for example, you're fond of design of libraries, etc. No, I'm sure whatever you are trying to deal with, no, whatever uh, s- you look at your browser, you look at the history of your browser, and we will find out the things, no, that that interests you so much. No, I hope it's something productive and very nice and wholesome. No, uh, for example, no, I am very much interested with solar shading devices. No, I I try to figure out the effect, no, the efficiency of a particular solar shading devices, comparing horizontal and vertical, etc., on a different orientation. So there, I really believe a lot on solar shading devices in uh, in controlling the amount of heat that builds up in a building. No, okay. Now, for for your research, make sure that you only have one research question. Excuse me. One research question, okay? Uh, there are, I have seen students asking so many questions, no? That are not even related to each other. One question goes there, one goes question goes there. One no 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 no. Since you're doing only one research, there's only one ultimate research question that you're going to answer. Okay, just like what I told you a while ago of the Blue Ribbon Committee. No, what is really the question? I really don't know. I really don't know. They have asked many things. They have looked at different issues, but I can only guess. No, the what? No, in your research, you should have a research question that is not merely answerable by yes or no or some categorical answers. Okay. So I suggest that you start with the word how. No, how effective is no, how how different is no uh how successful or etc. No, not what. No, what is the is it possible? No, wag ganyan, no. Then don't forget about the impact. No, uh, the impact is something far-reaching. No, what is the impact of air conditioning to students? No, no. What is the no? We are very difficult and impossible to measure the impact on just a few weeks. Okay, so be careful with the word impact. Okay. Now, any questions so far?
Or sir. Pero kanang sir, naki-question ba regarding gani sa face-to-face classes? Naa ka ay face-to-face classes karong February, sir? Or
Uh,
wala?
February, no.
Okay, sir. So, walay this year mahitabo nga face-to-face classes.
Hopefully by mid-March, if things go well, if things become better.
Okay, sir. Salamat, sir.
Yeah, we are actually making some policies, and we are also going to uh, consult your parents and your guardians. No? Uh, about the protocols that we have to do. Kasi, for example, we need your consent, no, uh, from the parents and from you. That, for example, anyone who gets gets sick, no, uh, is not going to be shouldered by the university, no. So if you get sick, you do not blame the school, something like that. Um, but yeah, it's difficult, no? Difficult to pinpoint na nagkasakit ka dahil sa school when so we take care. Who will take care of you then your parents, no, your family. Anyway, so yeah, any questions related to the topic this afternoon? But I appreciate questions like that, no. Uh, so have you made some distinction between a problem and a question? Okay, let's move on. No? Let's move on to this topic. I have here on the screen a problem. Okay, so there is an expressed discomfort among the students of a particular school. No, okay, so it would be good to really mention what school, etc. No, but because that is where the context comes in. Kasi if you are talking of a school in in Norway, then there is no the heat, and then the heat probably is not, it's not an issue there. No, it's very cold there. Anyway, so there is an expressed discomfort, dissatisfaction among the students with regards to their, to the heat and noise in the classroom. Okay, so and because of this heat and noise, there is a literature that tells us that if students are uncomfortable, face some difficulty in listening to the lecture, then it can lead to low academic performance. No? Meaning, this low academic performance or academic performance can be measured on the scores that they get in the exam. Okay. Although we know for a fact that academic performance uh, is uh, is also dependent on many other factors. No? Many other factors, not just the heat and the noise. Okay, so siguro study habits could be one. Maybe prior knowledge, no, or the basic education that one had, etc. No, so and then okay, let's move on. So the students are not the only ones who are suffering from this discomfort. No, so the teachers as well uh, are affected. No, although the main concern here, because it's a school, the main concern would be on the students. So, in order to address this problem, the administration invested, no, in the provision of air conditioning units. No? So the classrooms um, uh, were were fitted with air conditioning units. So this, of course, this is an investment. This doesn't come free, and once you turn on the aircon, you start paying for electric bill, no? And all of this air conditioning unit is supposed to make the classrooms more comfortable, and if you close the windows, you also somehow address the transmission of noise from room to room, no? So you will somehow control the noise. So therefore, we see that the air conditioning unit uh, can be a way to address the discomfort, and thereby, no, uh, resulting to a better performance among the students. Okay, but forget about the teachers for a while. No, uh, maybe the teachers as well benefit. Therefore, they are able to lecture much better. But the overall is that the students are more comfortable and more likely to get higher grades. Okay, so that's the story of it. Now, tell me a research question that you can suggest for this kind of problem. Sige daw. Anyone?
Yes, sir. Hello po,
Sige
sir.
daw,
Good
please.
afternoon.
Afternoon.
Sir, my probable research question would be, how important is proper and adequate ventilation within school classrooms with regards to the academic performance of students?
Okay, thank you. That's good. How important, no? Sorry, can you, how important is proper
How
and,
important is proper and adequate ventilation within school classrooms with
okay,
regards to
wait lang. Uh, adequate and proper. Okay. Comment lang doon ha. Kasi when you say adequate and proper, dalawa na yon. Dalawang kind of question na yon. How important
ah,
is adequate
okay.
ventilation? And the second is how important is proper ventilation. Okay? So in the research question, I would suggest na assuming na tama na yon, how important is adequate ventilation. Okay? So, ventilation ha, ang nilagay mo, hindi air conditioning.
Yes po, sir. Ventilation po.
Okay. Did we mention anything about discomfort due to ventilation? Or
Due to heat and noise po, sir, nakalagay.
okay. How do you relate heat to ventilation?
Siguro po, sir, without proper ventilation or without adequate ventilation po within the classroom, it could induce heat sa interior po ng classroom.
Okay. But bear in mind that the administration already provided aircon. Okay? So there is no more ventilation as you would see it because the air conditioning is circulating, no? Although there is some
Okay.
little amount of ventilation, ventilation is the introduction of outside air to the inside. Okay? So uh, the ventilation seems to be some kind of uh, not within the case that I mentioned. Okay?
Okay po, sir.
So those are my comments. Sige daw, mahaba pa 'yun. Proper adequate ventilation to the
Within school classrooms po, with regards to the academic performance of students.
okay. So yung last part, classroom and academic, that's good. That's good, no? At least you are focusing on the the effect it has on the performance of the students because that's the that's what is that is the objective of the investment in the aircon. Okay. So yeah, you on the last part, the second half part of the long question is somehow okay. No? So thank you. Any
Okay
questions?
po.
Any do you want to clarify something? Okay. So anyone else who would like to try?
Mag-try ko, sir.
Oh,
About sa question, mag question, sir, about sa problem, sir, kay how significant is wall noise barrier to academic performance of the student? Yun
how
po.
significant? How significant is a wall barrier?
Wall barrier in academic performance of the student, sir.
Okay. Um, thank you for your attempt. No, but um, we are not talking about anything that about the wall. No, we are specifically looking at the air conditioning system and and how it has some relationship with the heat and noise, therefore making the students more comfortable and ultimately redound to the better academic performance. So yung barrier or the wall is can be, but you have to look at a different problem. Okay? If that's the
Okay
kind of
po,
question,
sir.
if that's the kind of question, then you have to remake a a different problem. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Something that expresses actually what you are trying to do is to understand the transmission of sound from one room to another, no? That's basically what you wanted to find out. And then yung isa naman, yung wall barrier to the academic performance, medyo hindi, no? Medyo hindi siya tama, no? Kasi if only you will attain a good acoustic ambience, no, in a classroom, quiet, silent, and to the point that you can hear the teacher very well. You can hear each other without having to shout. That's good. That's a very ideal environment, no? So to attain that is to have acoustical absorbers, uh, so that whatever sound is excessive is get absorbed, and external sounds are prevented from coming in. No? So you have a different kind of a problem there. Okay, but good for you to make that attempt. Anyone else?
Excuse me, sir.
Go.
Na ako'y question, sir. Sa research ko, sir, pwede ba siya, sir, na ang akong research is kanang na-research na good sa lain, pero like, mag-focus ko diri sa lugar na mo, sir, diri sa Matina, sir. Pwede ba, sir? Like,
Yeah,
napoy na, okay.
yeah, that's very possible. No, somebody has made a research in Cordillera, for
Yes,
example,
yes, ma'am.
and you think that it has, for example, not architecture, no,
Yes,
there is an American research uh, trying to find out the proportion of the population who is into uh, ganito na lang ba? Let me take it pa. No, there is a research that was done in the United States finding out the proportion of the electric power that is used in the houses, no, and it says there that the biggest chunk of power is being used for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. Okay, so that's the US. Now, has the same thing been done in the Philippines? I'm not sure, no, perhaps not. So can you do the same research and do it in the Philippines and find out the proportion of the use of electric power? No, yes, you can. That is possible. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
you're welcome. Yeah, so that's a good strategy, by the way. No, mentioned by your classmate. No, but you have to look for researches. No, look for some architectural journals or some some journals published in the Science Direct, which you think is applicable to a particular context. Well, that's good. That's good. That's a good strategy. Yes. Okay. Let us wind up. No. So what do we do now? What do we do now? And the next week. Now we have to you every one of you will have to look at a problem. No, we have to find a problem. Okay, it should be architectural. Okay, it should it should have some it should have a very direct relationship with architectural design, because you have to anticipate that whatever learnings or knowledge you're able to acquire from this research has to be applied in your design 10, no, okay, so make some kind of a connection between design 10, whatever, you try to anticipate what project you're going to do, so that what research you're going to do now has some usefulness in what you're going to do in by the time you take up architectural design 10. Okay, in the earlier class somebody asked me kung pwede ba daw yung, maybe the student is still here, excuse me lang for if I use your example, kung yung ba daw mga abandoned projects ng DPWH, these are isipin mo naghukay tapos pinabayaan, those are problems, no, but this is not, those kind of problems is beyond the turf of architectural design. No? So architectural design is more on the building, the habitation, the comfort of the people, safety, like that. Okay? So that's it for this afternoon.
Excuse me po, Dean.
Okay, go
I have
ahead.
a follow-up question po.
Yeah.
Regarding po sa pag-find ng, excuse me, pag-find ng problem din, are we going to find lots of problem or like, I mean po, di lang ba may mag-focus sa isa ka problem po, then pagpilian na mo? I'm sorry. Ganito ba? Bali, I was saying po is, mangita po ba mi og different problems din, then among sa mga nakita na mo, mamili lang po mig isa. Is that what you're going to do po? Or diretso na po isa na kaagad na problem ang pilian namin?
Yeah, I would like to suggest na you go for one problem, no? Um, and then, but it may what may happen is you having your own criteria will entertain some. No, there's for example when you wake up, when you observe, no, I think this is a kind of a problem, and then when you look to your right, yeah, there's a problem. So you now begin to become you're now considering no several, but in finally, but you have to make a decision, no? What one problem uh, uh, you will try to entertain. So ultimately, one problem lang, no? And then we will get a kind of a research question from out of that problem.
Thank you, Dean.
You're welcome. Okay, so that's let's call it a date, and then we'll just communicate. I'll just post things in the LMS for the rest of the week, and see you again next week. No? Okay, that's it.
Thank you po.
Goodbye.
Bye
Thank you,
po.
Thank you
sir.
po,
Thank
sir.
you po.
Goodbye.
Welcome.
Thank you po.
Welcome.